Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. I swear, HOAs only exist to force people to pay for other people's crap under penalty of foreclosure. Let's start our video with another dose of crazy stuff about an HOA. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. HOA decorates one half of the area where all of the board members coincidentally live. This particular HOA was along a small street near a golf course, and the entry to the HOA was in the middle of the street. Most people lived on the eastern half, but all 5 board members lived on the western half. When I bought my condo there, I noted the eastern half was nicer looking, but I naively assumed it was due to the people on that side decorating it themselves. When I moved in, the HOA fee was around $250 a month, and it covered water, and in turn the HOA was responsible for roofs and exteriors, including landscaping. When I finally moved out 4 years later, the fees were nearly $450 a month and scheduled to go up again. They claimed this was due to rising costs and a long-term beautification project. And there definitely was something happening, but all to the eastern end of the street. The eastern side, where 2/3 of the members lived, including myself, would maybe get 5 azalea bushes. The western side, however, got a massive decoration garden and new trees. The eastern side was covered with moss. The western side was pressure washed 3 or 4 times a year. Like a fool, I attended a meeting to ask about the disparity. I was told that things just hadn't gotten to my end yet. When I attended the second meeting to complain, I'd worked my way onto their crap list and began receiving notes about how I was not in compliance with their rules and being threatened with fines. Worse still, when a golfer broke my backdoor window, the HOA initially tried to claim that I was trying to cheat them into paying for a replacement windshield on my car. I have no idea where they got this idea. The final straw was when water began pouring through my ceiling due to a repair contract that happened to go to the son-in-law of the president of the board, and they tried to somehow claim they weren't responsible for any of the repair costs or damages. I was able to sell my condo a few months later, and I've been HOA-free for almost a decade now. I never will live in an HOA again. And our second story. Getting exactly what is ordered. I'm posting on behalf of my brother, we'll call him Jason, who started his first job and not 3 days into it met his first Karen and witnessed a really satisfying case of malicious compliance. For background, he started his job at a popular pizza chain and was with 3 other employees, Alicia, Kaylee, and Jess, all 3 of whom were easygoing young women who were showing him the ropes. It was a busy day, and in walks our future Karen. But at the time, she was seemingly nice and even left a small tip for initial order, wings and pizza. Cut to about an hour later, she calls and Jason's the one managing the phone. She tells him that her pizza was completely undercooked and disgusting, and it tastes as if someone had poured an entire pile of butter on it. And she demands a new pizza be delivered to her home for her for free. Keep in mind that 1, she initially came in to pick up her first order, and 2, this pizza place has a delivery fee. So Jason, unsure what to do because it's his 3rd day, calls over his coworker Jess. And they were talking about what to do for this situation. And meanwhile, he's still on the phone, keeping her on hold, and Jess says to him that if she wants it, she'll have to come back to the store to get it. So Jess goes to start the pizza, and Jason informs Karen that they were not able to deliver, but they were still able to honor her request. Her last words before hanging up were a snippy, "Fine, I'll go there and I'll make a scene." Yikes. Jason informs Jess of what she said. She takes the pizza that almost went in the oven and throws it right away. "I'm not making that B-word her pizza." Way to go, Jess. Out walks the shift leader, Kaylee, who asks why Jess threw away that pizza. Jason catches the shift leader up to speed, and Kaylee just sort of shrugs it off. Cut to another hour later. Karen comes storming in, her previous box of pizza in hand, slightly more in disarray than she previously had been. Jason says, knowing who she is, "Hi, how can I help you?" "Hi, I'm here for my pizza." Kaylee steps in at the moment and asks, "Are you the woman from the phone?" "Of course. Look at this," she says haughtily and opens the pizza box, revealing the already half-eaten cheese pizza that didn't have anything wrong with it. Kaylee responds, I don't care. Did you threaten my employee? Clearly taken aback by this accusation, Karen exclaims in self-defense, "No, of course not. No one threatened anyone." Okay, well, he says otherwise. Karen insists she did nothing wrong. I said my pizza was undercooked and calmly asked for a new one. Jason shakes his head. "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but that's not what you said." Karen, now being caught in a lie for some reason, now says, "I wasn't even the one who called." Alicia steps in, then pulls Jason over to the side while Kaylee and Karen continue and says, "All right, we're just going to pretend to do something and listen in on this." Karen's final words on the matter before Kaylee gives in to end up remaking her pizza are, "My kids are starving. This is not acceptable." And so they begin to make her pizza. Karen complained it was underdone, so they're extra careful to be sure the crust was burnt and hard. She complained that it was too much garlic on the crust, so they place none on and leave it bland for her. No oil in sight. When they give her the pizza, Jason smiles. She opens it and sees the disaster of a pizza, looks up with disgust, realizes she's not going to win against 4 young people who refuse to be treated like garbage by customers, and leaves in defeat. She calls corporate, so he's heard, but nothing will probably come of it. Hope your kids enjoyed the wings that you didn't bring in. A Karen without a plan of attack. She must be a rookie. Maybe she'll get booted from the Karen Club. And our next story. Bring me someone who speaks English. Call the manager. Some years ago, I moved into London from a non-English speaking country. On my first year, I worked on the cinema of a huge shopping center, probably the worst job I've ever had. Low pay, bad conditions, long and late hours, physically demanding, and terrible customers in general. But my colleagues were great, and being new to the country, it's not that there was a wide variety of jobs for me to choose, so I stayed there for a while. One of the days I was working on the tills, I got to attend this difficult lady. I'll call her Karen. She definitely matched the profile, including haircut. In the foyer area of the cinema, there were trailers and loud music playing constantly in the background to the point that during peak hours, we often had to lean over the tills to hear our customers properly over all the noise. This day, our Karen arrives at the till, talking on the phone, and starts ordering without even looking at me or hanging up. I try following her the best I can, but she keeps ignoring my questions and looking around while talking on her phone, so I can barely hear her. Plus, I keep interrupting her conversation with all the necessary questions. You know, if you want a combo, you need to tell me the size, choice of drinks and snack, extras, and so on. Otherwise, I'll have to ask you one by one. The lady seemed pissed off by me trying to do my job. Maybe she wanted me to guess her choice of popcorn? God knows, the thing is that after my second or third question and still being on the phone, she starts shouting at me. God, they put immigrants like you on the tills? What do they expect to happen? I want to speak to someone who speaks English. Bring me the manager. Now, I'm not going to say that my English is flawless, and I definitely have a foreign accent, but having spent most of my life studying English, I've had an advanced and fluent level for years, and I definitely never had any problem with any customer before that day. Anyway, judging by the looks of the rest of the customers, I understood that Karen's behavior was speaking by itself, and I let her have the rant instead of answering her. Big smile. Karen, I speak English perfectly, but I'll bring you the manager anyway. I'll be back in a moment. I leave the till as it is. She didn't let me finish asking her about her order, so till was including, by default, some expensive extras in the combo, and I leave her waiting. I ignore the fact that the closest manager is around the corner and take a long walk to the office. I have to mention here that she was late for her movie from the beginning, because some people know that there are around 20 to 30 minutes of ads before the movie begins, and they arrive at the venue right on time, not considering the fact that at peak hours there are always queues. So I took my time, walked to the office, have a little break from the noisy foyer, say hi to a couple of colleagues on my way, and finally find my manager, who happens to be from the same country as I am. By the time we're back, Karen is fuming, already about 5 to 10 minutes late to the movie. My manager serves her politely, and while she's still paying, he starts talking to me in our language, something that he never did in front of any customer before or after Karen, AK. She ended up being served by 2 immigrants, spending around 40 pounds on some overpriced combo and arriving 15 minutes late to her movie. I just don't understand why people get so upset about accents. Can they be difficult to understand? Sure, but patience is never a bad thing. And our last story. Greedy owner tries to rip off my friend, ends up paying him double. My first job out of college was for a local TV station. The owner was, and still is, the worst human being I've ever met. This guy has money, but he will cheat and lie anything to get out of paying his bills. When I started working there, the owner had just signed a contract with DirecTV to become part of their broadcast package. Since they were at the time purely a local TV station, this meant that we had about 2 months to upgrade our system so that we can start broadcasting to DirecTV customers in the entire Bay Area. Every day that we failed to do this past the deadline means that the owner would suffer a penalty per the contract. Not knowing about how any of this works, the owner hired a friend of mine to come in as a freelance consultant. My friend told him that for about $15,000 US, he can get a system that'll automate the entire process, which of course this guy didn't want to pay. He tasked my friend with finding a cheaper way, around half, and to pay for all the hardware up front and get reimbursed later. Knowing what a piece of crap this guy is, I warned my friend not to front the money because he wouldn't get paid back. The guy just smiled and said, "Watch me." So he made it work. We went live on schedule and the owner was happy. Then my friend went in and presented the guy with the bill. Immediately the usual excuses start. "Oh, I'm a little short this month. Can I pay you later?" etc., etc. Then my friend pulled out the trump card. Not only did my friend threaten to take all the equipment back and take the station off the air, he reveals that in order to get the uplink working for cheap, someone had to come in every day and code the broadcast manually. It's not a terribly complicated procedure, takes less than 5 minutes, but of course no one else at the station knows how to do it but him. So either the owner can pay him what he's owed, plus a $2,000 a month consulting fee, or the station goes dark and he starts paying the penalty to DirecTV. The effer paid fast. So instead of $15,000, he ended up shelling out more than double that amount as my friend lapped up his $2,000 a month fee for close to a year before he felt bad and finally taught somebody there how to do it. Moral of the story? Only thinking about short-term gain will always cost you more in the long run. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.